Hi, I'm Courtney McRae, and today we're going to learn how digital supply chains can help you improve your supply chain planning. We will see how sales and operations planning can be improved and what factors to consider during the transformation. Most of us were taught to think of planning, operations, and sales as independent departments, and that's the way they have been working for the longest time. However, each department working independently leads to one of the most important issues that we will address today: data in silos. Siloed data has slowly killed profits and has had a significant impact on customer satisfaction and loyalty. Having the right data at your fingertips and in one place can help you find connections you didn't know existed. A classic example of an early data analysis found that many customers who bought beer purchased diapers at the same time. This study suggests a connection between watching Monday Night Football and caring for a family. Marketers can use information like this to provide discount coupons and enhance sales. Similar examples of this kind have led many businesses to consolidate their data on a single platform and find seemingly unrelated connections, which can help to provide better customer service. Gartner is a strong proponent of using processes, people, data, and technology to provide customer-centric products. You will need to modify your processes, work with your people, and use the right technology to be able to manage a large amount of data. Moving to a digital platform can be overwhelming, so let's look at some tips that can help you plan the move. Where do you begin? Take small steps. Choose processes that are most important and start with those. Set small milestones to make sure that you are tracking the project effectively and demonstrating value early. Some of the companies seeing the highest returns for moving to digital platforms have taken this approach. Any change needs people to buy into your vision. Getting executive sponsorship will help with resource availability and overcoming resistance to change. You need to ensure that both the team you are working with and the implementation process are flexible. Agile methodology has proven to be very effective for this kind of implementation. And finally, always allow time for testing with many different kinds of users. This will help you identify and fix any issues before you roll out the platform to everyone.
If your supply chain planning processes have been working well for you all these years, you might wonder why you need to change them just because you're moving to a digital platform. You're not alone in thinking that way. About 67% of businesses do not prioritize reviewing supply chain planning processes when they invest in or plan for growing product demands. By using these same disjointed processes, you are still contributing to data silos. You are likely to end up struggling with similar issues. More importantly, your old processes worked during a time when businesses operated under fewer constraints. Customers and shareholders today demand that businesses operate ethically, focus on consumer welfare, and minimize their impact on the environment. Technology offers you a chance to change the way you plan, automate, predict more accurately, and manage regulations easily. In this section, we will look at how you can improve your processes by changing how you plan and use concurrent planning methodologies. We will then see how you can choose processes for automation that will help to predict changes in processes or bottlenecks so you can act faster. Finally, we will look at how technology can help you manage regulatory requirements across geographical locations. Mark has been planning inventory for 5 years. He waits for the operations planner to provide him with a plan, and then sets about generating an inventory plan to make sure he has all the necessary materials. He discovers material shortages because of changes made to the operations plan inside the lead time fence, and inventory he thought he had was used in another job and not recorded. He updates his plan and goes back to the operations planner to discuss. They argue over whose data is right and who is responsible for the misalignment. By now, days have gone by, and Mark has to rush order material to satisfy the plan. This happens every planning cycle. What if the silos could be broken down, and planning processes happened in parallel rather than sequentially? Imagine all of this happening in a single system, where everyone has immediate visibility. That's exactly what concurrent planning does. Concurrent planning helps you get information directly from the source as soon as it's updated. Everyone can see the current status and make arrangements as soon as they see any change in requirements. Wouldn't it be even better to automate notifications so changes in plans can trigger action? Automation has many benefits, but it's easy to go down the automation path and not realize the benefits or achieve return on investment. There's a common tendency to begin automating based on the amount of time it takes to complete a process. And while it might reduce the time in operations, will it bring the best return on your investments? Experts suggest that the best place to begin is with your value chain. Any process that directly affects or interacts with customers will directly affect customer experience. To view your processes from the customer's point of view, sometimes it is best to work backwards. For example, what is the final product? What are the resources that you require to get the final product ready? Keep going all the way back, and you'll have highlighted your value chain. Choose the processes that take the longest time in this value chain. That will ensure that you begin automation with the highest return on investment. Continue to choose processes that directly affect the value chain until you reach the point of diminishing returns. New technology completely changes what automation used to be. It can work with you to predict changes in operations. Let's say that you are working with suppliers A, B, and C. A is known for timely deliveries and great quality, but is quite expensive. B is farther away from your location, so deliveries can be delayed due to external circumstances, but it's also known for great quality. C is a local supplier and can produce the goods on time, but the quality is hit or miss. Both B and C are considerably cheaper than A. Based on constraints like the quality of the end product and the delivery time, a predictive tool would only show the suppliers that are relevant. If you have to develop a high-end product on a tight deadline, only supplier A should be shown, while for a low-end product that can be developed on a more relaxed schedule, the system should only show suppliers B and C. In the real world, it gets complicated quickly, simply because there are so many constraints that it's impossible to perform all the required calculations in minutes. For this kind of technology to be accurate, your demand, supply, and operations information will need to be accessible on the digital platform. Keeping these records will also help you comply with government regulations. When someone talks about government regulations, they are often talking about all the different hoops that businesses have to jump through to get approval for their product. But there is another important part of regulation that can be time-consuming, and that is traceability. Let's consider pharmaceutical companies that operate in both the US and Europe. These two regions have different specifications for raw material sourcing, cleanliness of the premises, and even distribution. When asked, the companies must provide proof of compliance within 24 hours. The request can require documentation for the past 2 years. Many companies have paid heavy fines, pulled their products from shelves, or in some cases, executives have even been sent to prison for not providing the necessary proof. Moving record keeping and transactions to digital platforms makes traceability and showing proof of compliance much easier and more reliable. Most of these shifts require time, careful planning, and investment. Concurrent planning requires that all data is stored in a single platform and is easily accessible. Automation of processes begins by careful planning and identifying the correct processes to maximize your customer satisfaction and achieve return on investment. Being able to predict the effects that input variables have on the final output is beneficial in the supply chain industry. The industry's sheer complexity and size needs automated processes for decision makers to act fast. And finally, ensuring that all regulations are met across borders is a big task without the right technology. These changes will require you to balance resources and business goals. You may have to retrain your existing workforce and influence your employees to accept change and take on different responsibilities. You may even want to expand your workforce to fill knowledge gaps. Managing people is an important aspect of moving your supply chain processes to a digital platform.
Human behavior in the supply chain industry is insufficiently explored, and when you are moving to a digital system, it is easy to forget the human factor. Moving to digital platforms feels like an act of reducing the effect of human behavior. Not quite so. More people are now working on making decisions, contributing to the creative aspects of your business, or assessing a machine's work. This gives people more power and the ability to affect a bigger portion of your operations. In this section, we will look at how technology helps motivate and encourage employees to continue to learn. We will see how technology can help your entire workforce to collaborate, innovate, and resolve problems quickly. Finally, we will talk about keeping your employees safe online and different steps you can take to make sure that all end users keep their accounts safe. We saw in a previous section how all data in one place helps concurrent planning. So let's say you do not have all the data in one place and have to check on the progress of your manufacturing today. First, you need to ask various departments for their data, and it will take a while before they can get it to you. Second, when you have collected all of the data, you have to consolidate it and then start thinking about available dates and delivery time. Finally, you are able to inform the retailers about when they can expect their deliveries. All of this work is done, and then one department comes back with updated data because they did not foresee a bottleneck. Now the data you have collected will have to be changed. Essentially, you have to go through the whole time-consuming process again. This is not uncommon. It keeps happening. The question is, how motivated will you be 1 year into this role? Now, imagine again all of the data in one place, easy for your employees to access and update, thereby alleviating any need to consolidate it. You can now open a report, make your analysis, and update the retailers regularly, compressing the time to action. All of us would choose the latter. Any business that offers these capabilities to their human capital will have motivated employees as well as a higher productivity rate and greater satisfaction. Solving problems is a motivator for employees everywhere, so empowering your team to make decisions, giving them all of the tools they need is important. An environment that focuses on problem solving and builds a culture of trust by giving decision-making autonomy to its employees fosters a culture of innovation. Organizations with a high level of innovation are likely to be ahead of their competitors and often rank higher on customer satisfaction. Even with the best solutions, it is easy for all of us to focus on our own individual tasks. Without integrated processes and appropriate tools, exchanging information regularly can be easily overlooked. It is in your best interest to make this easy for employees because the lack of cross-functional team collaboration leads to data silos. This is a major cause of poor decision-making, reduced productivity, and a cost to your business, which is rarely tracked. The saying, "People are your biggest asset," has never been more true and relevant than it is now, although it is only part of the truth. Harvard Business Review published an article that says collaboration among people is your biggest asset, and not just the people. We are in a time when innovation happens at an alarmingly fast rate. The collaborative power of a group is far greater than individual effort. So yes, you need the right skills and you need the right people, but you also need to provide a good medium for them to work together. Collaboration is the way forward to innovative solutions. To encourage your employees to participate in conversations across geographic locations, you need a solution to help facilitate that. Building a discussion platform and encouraging interactions to occur directly within the planning environment can help your employees resolve problems quickly. This platform is what Harvard Business Review calls collective intelligence. Employees can then leverage this platform, build new solutions, and help each other, which will ultimately help their customers and their organization's return on investment. Discussing new ideas and changes and tracking it with cross-functional teams facilitates collaboration, faster communication, and helps you see the end-to-end cycle clearly. Data moves across teams faster and makes analyses more effective and accurate. Having all your employees online gives you the opportunity to map your experts in different areas so that your digital supply chain tool offers a clear view of how people and resources of the company are connected. This way, should anyone need help, they will know who the best person is to contact and resolve issues quickly. This also provides an opportunity for your employee to explore their interests, network, and find mentors. Many businesses are taking this approach to enhance their employee experience, like SpaceX, who managed to solve seemingly impossible engineering problems. It is great to give your employees freedom to make decisions, but you also need to make sure that they are trained to understand risks, especially the ones that involve exposing business information unknowingly. An FBI director once famously said, "There are only two types of companies, those that have been hacked and those that will be." IT-enabled systems bring with them a range of opportunities, but can become fragile if security concerns are not addressed. Your employees are your end users, and they need to be trained on how to be safe online. Your managers are particularly susceptible to hacks because of their ability to access sensitive documents. They need to understand the risks and live and breathe security, even if they are not IT people. Your vendor's security is just as important because they store your data. You should go through their security plans, SOC compliance level, and see how well their employees are trained. You can look into including penalties for any breaches of contract within their service level agreement. Security is a trickle-down effect. If the leaders are careful and make this a priority, the behavior will trickle all the way down, even to the newest employee. As a business leader, do not leave your security only to your IT team. Make it your job to stay updated on the latest hacks, learn from others' mistakes, and keep an eye on what is new and how it can be adopted in your organization. Conduct regular security compliance training. Bring your executive team into this discussion. As business leaders of their own departments, the leadership team will be able to provide insights into how changes will affect their business. This is also a good time to proactively hash out solutions to any foreseeable issue. It is important that this is a collaborative effort and that everyone understands how security is important at every step. Any weak link can expose your entire business to potential threats, costing you money and your reputation. As we saw, moving to a digital platform enables you to provide the best solutions and tools available to your employees. They will have the opportunity to master new technology, and in turn, the business will have motivated employees well placed to innovate and resolve problems quickly. Another way to foster innovation is to build platforms for better collaboration. Harvard Business Review suggests that collective intelligence, that we mentioned earlier, is key to continuous improvement. Helping your employees share information can be a double-edged sword, so training everyone about security is important. A cybersecurity-aware workforce will help you manage threats and minimize exposure.
We have been talking about data silos and different ways of bringing all of that data on a single platform. In this section, we will take a look at your practices around data collection and analysis. We will begin by talking about data strategy that will help you align department and overall business goals. Next, we will discuss how storing data in a single format will make data analysis easy, but this comes with a caveat. Converting a massive amount of data in different formats can inject errors, and losing data accuracy will result in wrong conclusions drawn from your data. Data collection is now almost completely automated, which helps businesses gather all kinds of data. Finding useful information or analyzing data from this colossal database requires high computing powers. This need for higher computing power will keep growing as the amount of data we collect keeps increasing. In some ways, our problems began when we realized data collection could be automated for relatively less cost. We've all been there. We've collected so much data, and now we don't know how to make sense of this tedious pile that was supposed to change the way we manage operations. Before you can even think about data analysis, let's look at our data collection and see if it's as good as we'd like to think it is. Let's start with data strategy. What data are you collecting? Is it useful? And if so, is it accurate? The data that you collect must have an impact on either your customer experience or your business efficiency. Some examples include user behavior, real-time inventory status, and market research. Building a data strategy can help you achieve multiple goals. Each department's goals should work into the overall business goals. This means sharing your production and operations goals with your suppliers and keeping them updated regularly on any changes. Your data strategy should be developed for the entire business, and the departments can build their individual goals based on the business goals. Once you have aligned business goals, you should define the data strategy for each goal in terms of what data is to be collected and how it can be enriched to meet business requirements. In global businesses, it often happens that each department tracks their experience with a vendor individually, and that makes it difficult to calculate overall service quality. A data collection and storage method that incorporates all data in one place will help decision makers see the whole picture clearly. The metrics used to measure success should also reinforce the overarching business goal for each department. New projects and innovation should be applied with the same rigor even after the initiation stage is complete. Most businesses have legacy systems that are sometimes unique to a couple of departments. It is worth looking at them to measure their viability going forward. Old business practices may cause barriers to measuring success. Even if these can't be changed right away, you should bookmark them for evaluation. Once you have a strategy for data collection in place, you need to make sure that all collected data is accurate across the entire life cycle. This brings us to data integrity. Data integrity is about how easy data is to use and how accurate it is. Think about a retail manufacturer who gets customer feedback from different sources like emails, phone calls, and social media. Emails are all in text format, so they are easy to use. But what about phone calls? You can use a tool that converts voice into text, then save it, and now you can use it with the emails. Think about social media. Technically, that's text too, but what about a post of an image of torn fabric? It's valuable information and you want to capture it. You can use another tool that scans images and summarizes them in text. Using such tools can help you collect a wider range of feedback. The second part of data integrity is accuracy. Data accuracy is a challenge for many reasons, such as data onboarding and non-human traffic. It's also an important aspect of a data strategy. Set a governance plan that identifies critical data and share it often. Data accuracy is a widely researched and a detailed subject in itself. So if you think your business is struggling with the quality of predictive outputs, you should rethink your data accuracy. Finally, how and where you store your data will account for both security and ease of access. Many countries have strict regulations around data storage. Understanding these regulations is key, and these regulations are a good place to start to ensure that your records are safe, reliable, and at least as accurate as their paper counterparts would have been. To ensure that your business doesn't suffer from misleading information, you need to do more. In the real world, you will have data from various places in your supply chain, like real-time shipping information from your IoT devices, warehouse inventory, and heavy machinery information. To ensure accurate information on processes, inventory, and production, you could validate after a milestone, along with a time-stamped audit trail. You could also restrict access to records and ensure that you maintain backups and have a good recovery process in place. Experts suggest that you treat your data storage as an integral part of operations, marketing, and sales rather than rely on your IT team. While your IT team could make data safety high priority, if the people in other departments are not aware of security principles, they could be the point of data breach. Once you have all this information in place, ensure that you have a detailed map of the data storage. The map should explain how to go about finding any data and required access permissions. It should also include the path of how this particular data was collected and why. This way, you can continuously review the value of any data. Once you have your data strategy in place, working with data essentially involves two steps: data collection and data analysis. The Digital Supply Chain Institute recently published a white paper recommending that data analysis and collection efforts should be split 80-20. 80% on analysis and 20% on collection. Simply put, once your data strategy is in place, data collection should be an automated process, and data analysis should be the primary focus. If there was ever a process that would benefit from moving to digital platforms, it is data analysis. It has completely revolutionized decision-making. No wonder it has grown rapidly, and many supply chain managers often struggle with it. Additionally, new jobs have sprung up around it, especially ones for data scientists. While data analysis might not be a supply chain manager's primary function, they do need to understand the basics behind it and the potential that data can provide. One of the best examples is Amazon's patented anticipatory shipping. It uses past data on customer behavior and keeps products ready to be delivered even before the customer has made that purchase. That's how Amazon can offer 1-hour shipping. Amazon's ability to build meaningful data models is the key to its customer satisfaction. Big data analytics can help you reduce the lag between requesting data and the results delivered. Some simple examples are gaining visibility into bottlenecks, inventory, and other potential issues. You can take corrective action in time to reduce the impact on operations. You can focus on important things like fixing design issues, lead times of critical production items, and continuous improvement of your planning models. But machine learning comes with a caveat. The benefits listed above require a considerable amount of data and effort to be accurate. In the initial stages, pattern recognition is especially susceptible to errors. So before you introduce machine learning to your data analytics, you need to consider if it's possible for you to invest time in correcting predictive models and if you have enough historical data to make these predictions usable. You will need to work with your data scientist and a machine learning expert to find these answers. Your goals may not change, but your path to the goals needs to continuously evolve based on what the data tells you. Staying on top of the latest technology trends in this field can provide insight into newer methods of meeting your targets. To recap, be mindful of what data you collect. It may be inexpensive to collect, but storing and using it effectively can be very costly and time-consuming. Your data strategy should align with business goals. Selecting the right software for converting data from one format to another is vital to keeping the information correct. Finally, data analysis can benefit most from the latest technology like big data analysis and machine learning.
Using the latest technology to keep your costs low can help you to become more cost-effective and provide customer-centric products. Using an older system means losing out on your competitive advantage. It took only 4 years for machine learning to go from a niche technology to the most wanted technology in every vertical. Technology is notorious for becoming obsolete quickly. How many people are still using Google Glass? That's what you are up against in the digital world. You need to adopt new technology quickly in order to leap ahead of your competitors. If you don't, well, imagine using Excel spreadsheets for storing your data. In this section, we will discuss how cutting-edge technology can enhance your digital supply chain and improve your processes to build a business around customer demands. The technologies we will look at are artificial intelligence, cloud computing, augmented reality, Internet of Things, or IoT, and blockchain. Each of these technologies has the potential to disrupt the way your supply chain processes work and put you ahead of your competitors. Let's begin with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, or AI, and machine learning are often used interchangeably. Both AI and machine learning enable systems to carry out tasks that can be classified as intelligent. They go beyond calculations and execution of written commands to help machines think for themselves. Machine learning is a subset of AI that focuses on machines teaching themselves to reach a goal without human intervention. Machine learning has revolutionized the way supply chain planning works. Planning tools take your historical data and tell you what you can expect in the future. You can train tools to be even more accurate by recalibrating them to address any differences in actuals versus predictions. That way, you keep getting closer to actual market demand. Spotify made it easy to take your music on holiday and forever changed how we listen to music. Think about how much easier it would be if you could use a similar tool for your work. Imagine requesting a large inventory purchase on your phone because you had all the data you required at your fingertips. Gartner expects that by 2020, over 90% of spending on supply chain execution systems will be for cloud solutions. Everyone in your team can work remotely and collaborate in real time through discussion forums. Cloud offerings like software as a service, or SaaS, can help you be more agile in terms of software updates, adding new users, and changing storage requirements. With all your data in a single space and ease of access to that data, your employees will always have the same information. Moving to cloud gives you the opportunity to revise your disaster recovery plans. Look for two important terms in your SLA: Recovery Time Objective, or RTO, and Recovery Point Objective, or RPO. RTO is the length of time required to bring your server back up after a disaster. Simply speaking, it is downtime. RPO, on the other hand, is the point to which your data is recoverable. Let's say your server is backed up every 30 minutes. This is your RPO. Depending on the time of disaster, the maximum data you would lose is up to the last 30 minutes. If you're a financial service provider, or if you have payment gateways on your website, your RTO and RPO will be regulated. Remember Pokemon Go? The game was created using augmented reality, or AR. What if you could use that same technology to fix your heavy machinery? Well, that's not sci-fi anymore. It's happening now. The manufacturing industry has been using AR to enable machine repairs remotely. When heavy machinery breaks down, manufacturers need to fly their experts to the client location to fix it. This is costly and time-consuming, and neither the manufacturer nor the client likes this. Manufacturers have started developing an interactive technical documentation module using augmented reality that helps the customer's on-site engineer identify issues and fix them. That's great. But what if you could predict when a machine needs servicing or is about to break down? Did you know that there are some great sensor-connected devices that can do that for you? The Internet of Things, or IoT, is a set of connected devices in a system that exchange data amongst themselves without human intervention. Location trackers and climate sensors are all IoT devices. Some can send images of fault lines to the assessor online and have them accept or reject material without even opening the boxes. Easy, accurate, and fast. If your sensor tells you there's a crack developing in your machine, you can call your manufacturer immediately to make them aware. Many manufacturers are able to predict possible issues during routine checks, and they are working to train IoT devices to learn to send triggers to the right people. This falls under a wide array of machine intelligence called artificial intelligence, which we referred to earlier. Another new technology that has the potential to make the digital supply chain more robust is blockchain. It is a distributed ledger and the underlying framework of Bitcoin. While Bitcoin has raised eyebrows, blockchain has generally been hailed as the solution to making transactions transparent and easily traceable. With blockchain, every transaction is recorded on a block across various copies of the ledger. These ledgers can be distributed globally, and validation is shared by the whole chain. This is why counterfeiting goods is impossible with a distributed ledger. Because if you insert a new block, it has to be approved by everyone, and it has to agree with the other nodes in the chain. These blocks are essentially the transactions within supply chain management. Blockchain allows for absolute transparency, accountability, and a chain of command. You can easily track multiple suppliers across the globe. Earlier, we discussed how regulations require businesses to keep a record of raw materials and all steps in the manufacturing process. Businesses can provide proof of compliance by tracking every step of the product in blockchain. You can simply pull a report and send it to the authorities. Regulated industries like food, pharmaceutical, and finance have started showing interest in blockchain, and the big players have begun developing their strategies around it. It's clear that new technology is going to play a central role in moving to a digital supply chain platform in the next few years. How well you use technology to analyze your data, enable collaboration, and design processes will decide your place in the market.
As we saw, concurrent planning and automating the right processes can help you optimize lead time. With automation, you can better predict the effective changes to input variables on the final output. That way, you can act faster to reduce the effect of delays. We saw how using a communication platform across a business can foster innovation and motivate employees. At the same time, you need to reinforce the importance of security among your employees and managers alike. Your data security has never been as important as it is today. Even one person can cause harm to an entire business. Data security and integrity are also extremely important to ensure that your data analysis is accurate. We also saw how important it is to collect the right kind of data that aligns with your business goals. And finally, we saw how new technologies like machine learning can be best used to make predictions. SaaS applications bring various advantages. They can help businesses create better disaster recovery plans and eliminate the need for upkeep of software and its underlying infrastructure. They also provide users with easy access across locations. Other technologies, like blockchain, can help you keep track of all your source material, your vendors' vendors, and so on. This will make regulatory compliance easy. In conclusion, a fully functional digital supply chain looks forward and plans for what's to come, rather than depending on what's happening now. We saw that moving to a digital platform should focus on process change, people management, and data analysis by using the right technology. How you plan and implement these will help determine your success.